choose someone you would like to work with. Then, when I say go, go and put your initials underneath the song. Go. So if you can move it all. It just your initial. Okay, everyone got the song. Well, what's left? You give love a bad name or shake it off.
What song is that?
Oh my god.
Okay. So, very interesting to see how you do that. Learning intention today. Thanks, Austin. It's not exactly performance class now. So what we're looking at today is how chord progressions work, and particularly chord loops. So let's just go back a little step. When I talk about a chord, what do I mean? What would be like if you have a little year 7 come in, say, oh, today we're learning chords. What would you say a chord is in the most basic definition? Yep, Michael.
Multiple notes but at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Progression. What does that mean? Austin?
It's like a series of multiple chords.
Yeah, usually that repeats. Okay, so when I use the word chord loop, I use chord loop somewhere. A chord loop is like chord progressions that keep going over and over. So what I want you to investigate is, do these songs that you have chosen have chord loops? Do they have usually 3 or 4 chords that are repeated over and over? Now, we can research this because what's the most common instrument to just play chords?
Yeah.
Guitar. Yes, sorry. So I want you to use mainly the site Ultimate Guitar Com, but you could just Google "You Give Love a Band Name" chords, and it'll bring up someone would have put it on the internet. What you need to remember about the internet. Well, sometimes you can trust it, but like anything on the internet, it may be true, it might have mistakes in it. So what I want you to do now is have a look by Googling the chords for your song, work out does it have 1 or 0 chord loops, 1 chord loop, or 2 chord loops. Okay, off you go, grab your devices out, get to it. Is it?
Yeah. Paranoid is like just a bunch of chords played over.
I don't know.
But we're not actually here to clean our devices, we're actually here to use our devices.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. You like this? Oh, the chords. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ultimate guitar is a pretty reliable one because it's curated, and while it does have entries from different people, because everyone uses it, they tend to fix the mistakes. So just don't tell everyone the purpose of our lesson before we actually work it out for themselves. Now, if you discover it does have some chord loops, what I want you to do, eyes here, when you work it out, so you've got the name of your song, and then you go, hey, this song is actually built on G, C, E minor, D, like that. Come up and near your song title, or put an arrow, just write what the chord loop is. So has anyone found their song has a chord loop? There probably will be a couple on the board that don't. So put it near the song though, Austin, so up.
Why is the album called Sex and Oh, on the Okay.
Now you might find that it changes somewhere through the song. That's okay, just pick the main one. So just squeeze it in near your song on the big blackboard.
I think it's not Probably, yeah.
Does anyone need help? Who's JH and NC?
Has it got it?
Okay, I reckon rather than doing it that way, just scroll down. This site is making it overly complicated. Just go back, Google never going to give you up.
Yeah.
That one, target.com, I don't know.
What did you get?
So the verse has a D, chorus has D, and then got G. So I think that one is your major loop. G, they go right up on board.
Who else needs more time?
I'm not sure about my.
What song have you got?
Coming here.
So let's look at the words. So it goes F sharp minor, E, F sharp minor, E, F sharp minor. So it's got a 2-chord pattern there that keeps repeating there. So that's it, F sharp minor, E.
Is that all?
For the verse, that's it. F sharp minor E, F sharp minor E. Yeah, so go and pop that up there.
Sure.
Zoe, why are you working with Rob? Then you need to sit next to him. You stand up, Marco move down the chair, George move down the chair, give Zoe a chair next to Rob. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these now. So let's start over this side. So who is DWLL? That's you. So you had, what was it? No, I've lost it. Hydro. So you said the chords were A, D, E, A, D, E. So that's 3 chords, isn't it? Were any of those chords a minor chord?
No, I think they're all major.
They're all major. So your chords sound like this. A, D, E, over and over. Has anyone else got the same chord loop up there on the board? No. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to the next one over. So Sweet Child of Mine, we had D, C, G, D. Who had that one, Sweet Child of Mine? I'm not sure you've got that right. Are any of those chords are minor chords?
C, O, D, C, D.
I know you're right. Okay, but they just go for twice as long. Cool, good. Has anyone else got that same chord progression up on the board? No. No. Okay. Cruel Summer. So Vivian Ariana, we have A, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, D. So that'd sound like A. What was the next one? C sharp minor, F sharp minor, D. Does that chord progression sound familiar? Yeah. Could it fit to any other songs that you know? To me, that sounds very familiar. I reckon there are other songs that use that same chord progression. Blank space, Marco and George, there are no chords up there. You couldn't find it. What are they?
I think it's major chord. And then major.
Did you say it again? E major.
F.
Yep.
D major. And E flat major and C.
You sure the second chord's not a D minor?
D minor.
How did I know that?
Crazy.
Just think about that for a moment. Sounds familiar as well, doesn't it? bad blood. So it went F, C, G, A minor. So that kind of sounds a little bit familiar. Getaway car goes C, G, A minor, as well. And do we have another one? Oh, I'm never going to give you up. Then G, those four chords there. Every song's in a different key, isn't it? Well, not every song, but most of the songs on the board are in different keys. What I want you to think about now is, you know when we did our work on scales, if we take a C major scale, if we build a chord on every note, we can give them a scale degree number. So we're going to call that one chord 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's back to chord 1. So if we had an example in the key of C major, do we have any in C major? Yeah, cool. So Getaway Car has a 1, 5, 6, 4 progression in it. I want you now to work out what are the scale degree numbers for your progression. But you got to think about this. If your progression starts on F, for example, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F is going to be chord 1, D is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7. D minor is going to be chord 6, B flat is going to be chord 4, and C is going to be chord 5. So I've kind of done yours. It's a 1, 6, 4, 5 progression. Work out the Roman numerals for your chord progression.
Sorry, but what are we doing?
If you need to work it out, then you might be able to do it on your fingers. Easy enough to work out.
Yeah. No. F sharp minor. Yeah, F sharp. E. E. Seven. Oh, F sharp minor again.
So when you know your chord progression in numbers, go write it on the board. Like I
Is that a river for the
for the which hat, the one you just did.
what key is it?
Well, I marked it against. It's yes, there is a rubric. No, it's not on compass. Like as if yeah, I did arbitrarily choose based on the requirements of it. Yes.
Wait, so when did I?
7, 5.
Let's have this conversation not in the middle of the lesson when I've got my notes up there. So with all of those presentations, I can't immediately remember yours. Okay, so we've got some numbers up here. have we got anyone who's got the same chord progression in Roman numerals? No, we didn't choose enough songs. Right, what I want you to do now is think of another 2 songs, work out what the chord loops are, and we need to start putting them up on the board. So, if you think easy songs, like more common pop songs, we're going to come up with more common chord progressions. You guys have a little bit too advanced taste there. It shows some songs that were unusual. So, find 2 more songs, find their chord progression, put them up on the board when you're done.
Let's not do that.
没有啊，我但它只有一个等级。 听不懂，打会儿游戏。
都不会啊。
没吗？
好，我试试。
还是
Which part?
那小听不懂，我听不懂我的。这个有点太长了，是吧？
And go to this G, A, A,
Yeah. Oh, this is
我们一直睡觉，但是我就起了，好吗？
just wait, do it G, A, A.
我摆了。
Okay, I don't know if you want to.
这个信号不是我编了的，
Alright, what else?
傻逼呀！我这半年打的，我这一东西。
What's that?
还用啥就打我来。
Okay, so I can see we're starting to get some matchups. For example, You Belong With Me that just went up on the board, thanks Marco, has the same chord progression as Getaway Car, the 1, 5, 2, 4, or the bridge part of Getaway Car anyway. I see 1, 5, 6, 4 with Riptide. Do I see that? A Love Story, 1, 5, 6, 4 as well as Riptide. Getaway Car, where's that? 1, 5, 6, 4 as well. So we've got 3 with the same progression up there. What else have we got? 1, 2, 4. 1, 4, 3, 6. I don't think I see that anywhere else. 1, 4. Okay, American Idiot's a bit complicated. 1, 6, 4, 5 for Call Me Maybe. 1, 6, 4, 5. Does that occur anywhere else? Yep, same as Blank Space. 1, 6, 4, 5. 1, 5, 6, 4. Oh no, we've covered that one already. You're starting to see some patterns here. Yeah. Okay, the next part of our work that we're going to do in our theory stuff is going to be some composition, where we're going to have a look at some chord loops. So, we're going to run out of time because I was going to show you a 20-minute video, but we're not going to have time for that. If I ever find my phone. Get ready to clean the board, please. Go. Okay, laptops down.
Now, I could teach you all about this, well, maybe I could, but I'm lazy, so let's just go to YouTube.
This video is sponsored by Hook Theory. Today we're going to take a look at 7 of the most common chord progressions that you'll find, particularly pop music. We're going to have a look at how they sound, why they sound the way they do, and generally give you a good set of examples of songs that use this chord progression to make it easier to hear it in other examples. So let's start with probably the chord progression that you guys are all thinking of right now, which is the famous 4 chords of pop music, sometimes called the axis progression.
Did we get any songs that had 1, 5, 6, 4 in it?
Yeah, so that was our most common one. He's saying it's the most common progression as well.
Because it was famously made into a musical joke by the Axis of Awesome.
My life is brilliant, my love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. It's just 2 songs that I sing along with. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. I won't hesitate no more, no.
So just there, you've already heard a whole bunch of examples of songs using this progression, particularly in music. I would say from the 1980s onward, it became increasingly popular to use this chord progression. And perhaps that popularity peaked around the late 2000s, early 2010s. It's hard to say exactly. I feel like it's less common today, actually, than it was 10 years ago. But there's loads and loads of songs that use this progression. And it's just a really great progression to loop, which is why it's used so often. But often when it's used in a song, it will be looped for an extensive period of time, potentially for the entire song. Why it works so well, in my opinion, is we start with the root chord, then we move away, as far away as we can really, from that root chord. We move to the 5th chord of the key. That introduces tension and motion. We now need to go somewhere, we can't just stay there. So if we wanted to wrap things up, we'd go back to 1. And now we sound completed, done. But that would be a bit boring. So rather than going back to 1, after the 5 chord, we go to 6, which offers a different type of resolution, not a full resolution. And then, rather than staying here, because once again that would be boring, we now introduce a bit more tension by going to the 4 chord. And the 4 chord, much like the 5 chord, doesn't necessarily feel resolved. It doesn't want to stay here. So we need to go back somewhere, and that was us back. The 1 chord.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. As I say, I remember me. Oh,
So all of those songs use the same chord progression. It sounded a bit distorted because he had put them all into the same thing just to make the video like that.
The way the food is packaged.
The next chord progression we're going to talk about is actually a very closely related chord progression to that first progression we talked about. This is 6, 4, 1, 5. And why it's closely related is...
Stop. Can you tell me why it's closely related before he actually tells us? Yep, Michael. Yes, so it's starting in a different place.
As you may have noticed, it's actually the exact same chord progression as the first one, but starting with the 6th chord instead. It sort of becomes like a minor version, a minor key version of that famous 4 chord progression. And actually, in that Axis of Awesome skit, that famous video, they use the fact that these 2 chord progressions are related to segue into the other progression, to sort of make their list of songs even longer. This chord progression sort of works for the same reasons that the other chord progression we looked at works. It's just a great balance of tension and release that allows it to continue looping around indefinitely if you want to do. I personally prefer this one over the first one. I feel like this is just like, it's kind of more dramatic in a way. Yeah, like we're saying, the first chord, A minor in this instance, is providing a point of rest. The 4 chord introduces some tension. The 1 chord resolves that tension. But rather than remaining resolved, we then go to our most tense chord, the dominant chord, which forces the chord progression to continue. So we wind up in this perfectly looped chord progression that can just keep going around if it needs to, as long as possible.
Okay, so that gets us thinking about chord progressions. Where we're going with this is that you're going to do some composing with